Welcome to a presentation on Syracuse University's dependent tuition benefit. During this presentation, you will learn about 3 programs available under the dependent tuition benefit: SU tuition waiver, tuition exchange, and cash grant. The SU tuition waiver program is a benefit for dependents of employees who wish to attend Syracuse University or University College. Dependents who matriculated into the university prior to fall 2011 are eligible for a 100% tuition waiver. For dependents who matriculate into the university on or after fall 2011 but prior to fall 2014, their level of tuition waiver will be adjusted based on your gross salary as shown here. Please note, thresholds are increased by an amount equal to the annual budgeted staff pro forma, and salary is determined as of each November 1st prior to the academic year of receiving tuition waiver. For example, if your dependent matriculates into SU on or after fall 2011 but before fall 2014, the level of SU tuition waiver for classes taken this academic year will be based on your salary as of November 1st, 2012. If your salary on November 1st, 2012 was $156,060 or above, your dependent will receive a 90% tuition waiver. If your dependent matriculates into SU on or after fall 2014, their level of SU tuition waiver will be adjusted based on your gross salary. As seen here, a new threshold comes into play effective fall 2014. Please note, thresholds are increased by an amount equal to the annual budgeted salary pro forma beginning with fiscal year 12. The level of tuition waiver is reevaluated based on salary as of November 1st prior to each academic year of receiving the benefit. If your dependent matriculates into SU fall 2014, the level of SU tuition waiver will be based on your salary as of November 1st, 2013. If your salary on November 1st, 2013 is less than $53,060, your dependent will receive a 100% tuition waiver. If your salary on November 1st, 2013 is between $53,060 and $106,119, your dependent will receive 95% tuition waiver. If your salary on November 1st, 2013 is $106,120 or above, your dependent will receive a 90% tuition waiver. The SU tuition waiver can only be applied to the minimum number of credits required for the completion of the dependent's first baccalaureate degree. An eligible dependent enrolled in a combined baccalaureate or master's program will be limited to the minimum number of credits required for the equivalent of the baccalaureate degree. Tuition exchange. Eligible dependents who are matriculated into another participating member institution of Tuition Exchange Incorporated may apply to receive a tuition exchange scholarship for a full-time undergraduate study leading to their first baccalaureate degree. The program is limited to a maximum of 8 semesters. The tuition exchange scholarship is not guaranteed at any of the participating member institutions. Therefore, we recommend that you apply early. Tuition exchange scholarships are awarded by the institutions according to their own criteria. The value and duration of each scholarship may be restricted. Summer session courses are not available under the tuition exchange program. Schools that participate in tuition exchange are required to offer full scholarships or an optional amount for schools with tuition that exceeds the set amount for that academic year. The set amount is $31,500 for 2013-2014 and $32,500 for 2014-2015. Public institutions are permitted to offer half tuition scholarships to non-residents. Cash grant. Dependents who are matriculated full-time undergraduate students at an eligible accredited post-secondary institution of learning may apply to have $1,250 per semester applied towards tuition charges. The program is limited to 8 semesters, and awards are made payable directly to the institution. Eligibility guidelines. Employment with Syracuse University and eligibility for tuition benefits does not guarantee acceptance into any college or university. Your child must meet admissions requirements leading to acceptance and be enrolled as a full-time matriculated undergraduate student in a program of study leading to their first baccalaureate degree. Exemptions to the full-time student status requirement include a student's final academic semester of study under SU tuition waiver, a qualifying disability, or students enrolled in at least 6 credits through University College. In order to be eligible for the dependent tuition benefit as an employee, you must meet the service criteria. If you are a full-time employee, you must complete a minimum of 3 years of continuous services as a benefits-eligible employee. If you are a part-time employee, you must meet the equivalency of 3 years full-time as a benefits-eligible employee. If you have a dependent who will matriculate prior to when you will satisfy the 3-year service requirement, then the benefit will begin in either the semester you satisfy the service requirement or the following semester, depending on which benefit your dependent will use. If your dependent is using SU tuition waiver, they are eligible to begin receiving the benefit the same semester that you satisfy the service requirement. If your dependent is using the tuition exchange or cash grant benefit, then they are eligible to begin receiving the benefit the semester following the semester you satisfy the service requirement. In order for a dependent to be eligible for the dependent tuition benefit, they must have one of the following relationships to the employee: the employee's biological child, children for whom the employee is the legal guardian or has legal custody, provided such arrangement has been in place for 3 years, the employee's adopted children and children who have been placed with the eligible employee for adoption, provided the adoption or placement has been in place for at least 3 years, children of the employee's spouse or eligible same-sex domestic partner. Other notes for reference. The eligible dependent must not be married. Dependent must be under the age of 25 as of the beginning of the academic semester in which the benefit is incurred, unless there has been approval of a disability waiver. Must be matriculated as a full-time undergraduate student unless dependent satisfies one of 3 exemptions identified on a previous slide. In addition, the employee must claim the eligible dependent on their federal income tax return during the calendar year in which the benefit is received. If the employee fails to do so, the university will have the right, in its discretion, to issue the employee a bill for the full cost of the dependent tuition benefit provided or issue a corrected Internal Revenue Service Form W-2 to reflect any additional gross income that may be a result of the dependent tuition benefit. The university may also take any other steps permitted by law to address the failure to satisfy this requirement. If the employee is unable to claim the eligible dependent due to divorce or legal separation, please contact Human Resources for further details. Should an employee retire, pass away, or begin long-term disability, their dependent will remain eligible for the benefit if the dependent was matriculated and actively participating in the program at the time of the event. Should an employee retire, pass away, or begin long-term disability prior to their dependent matriculating and or actively participating in a program, then their dependent will be eligible only if the employee had completed 7 years of full-time continuous employment or the equivalent prior to the event. Termination of employment results in immediate termination of benefits. Any student enrolled in classes at the point of termination may complete the courses without penalty. Tuition for classes taken in subsequent semesters will not be covered. Applying for the benefit is easy. You will need to complete the dependent tuition benefit application each year by the appropriate deadline. You may apply for multiple programs on the same application. Both the application and tuition exchange form can be found on the Human Resources Forms page. All employees applying for SU tuition waiver must apply for New York State TAP or complete the exemption process. If you do not apply for the New York State TAP award or satisfy the exemption requirements, this will result in a $1,000 reduction of the tuition waiver, $500 each semester. The exemption process is identified in the Dependent Tuition Benefit Policy and is based on two tests, income or residency. For more information on the New York State TAP Award exemption filing process, please contact the university's Bursar's Office New York State Awards Coordinator at 443-4800. The university's HESC Coordinator is currently Kelly Madison. The tuition program application deadlines are as follows. First-time applications for SU tuition waiver, early admission, or first-time applications for tuition exchange should be submitted by November 15th. First-time applications for SU tuition waiver, regular admission should be submitted by February 1st. Renewal applications for SU tuition waiver should be submitted by March 1st, and renewal applications for tuition exchange should be submitted by February 1st. Both first-time and renewal applications for cash grant should be submitted by May 1st. For additional information regarding the dependent tuition benefit, please visit the following links. And if you have any additional questions, please contact Erica Geston.